He was quiet, soft-spoken, the kind of man neighbors might describe as a little odd, then shrug and move on. His name was Jeffrey Dahmer, behind the apartment door. Silence was doing unspeakable work. The slow unraveling burn in 1960 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Dahmer's childhood carried fractures, parental conflict, isolation. A fascination with dead animals that drifted beyond curiosity into ritual by adolescence. Alcohol became his constant companion. It blurred edges. It softened whatever conscience might have stirred. In 1978, just weeks after high school graduation, he committed his first murder. Stephen Hicks was a hitchhiker Dahmer later said he killed because he did not want Hicks to leave. That sentence would echo through the years like a cracked bell, the return to darkness after a short stint in the Army and years of drifting. Dahmer returned to Milwaukee in the late 1980s. He lived in a modest apartment building at 924 North 25th Street. The hallway smelled strange at times. Neighbors complained. Nothing stuck. Between 1987 and 1991, he murdered 17 young men and boys. Many were people of color. Many were vulnerable. He met them in bars, malls, bus stops. He offered money for photographs, for company, for an evening. Inside his apartment, he drugged them. What followed was methodical horror, murder, dismemberment, attempts at creating what he called zombies by drilling into skulls and injecting chemicals. Hoping to produce a compliant companion who would never leave, it was a grotesque quest for control masquerading as loneliness. The walls absorbed everything. The near misses there were warning flares. In 1991, 14-year-old Connor Xanthosanphone escaped the apartment, naked and bleeding. Two women found him and called police. Dahmer convinced officers the boy was his intoxicated lover. They returned the child to him. Within hours, Connor was dead. The failure would later ignite fury toward the Milwaukee Police Department, raising questions about bias, negligence, and the value placed on certain lives. The discovery in July 22, 1991. Tracy Edwards managed what others could not. He escaped. Edwards flagged down police, who accompanied him back to the apartment. Inside, an officer opened a drawer and found Polaroid photographs of dismembered bodies in various stages. The illusion collapsed instantly in the bedroom and kitchen. Investigators found severed heads stored in the refrigerator, human remains in the freezer, and a blue barrel filled with acid-dissolving torsos. The air was thick with chemical rot. Dahmer did not resist. He confessed almost immediately in chilling, detailed statements that read like blueprints of despair. The trial and sentence signed 1992. Dahmer pleaded guilty but insane. The jury disagreed. He was found legally sane and convicted of 15 counts of murder in Wisconsin, receiving 15 consecutive life sentences. A 16th murder conviction followed in Ohio. He would spend his days in Columbia Correctional Institution. The man who sought total control now lived inside a cage of concrete and routine. The end of November 28, 1994. Dahmer was beaten to death by a fellow inmate, Christopher Scarver, during a prison work assignment. He was 3 foot had echoed Jeffrey Dahmer's crimes reshaped conversations about policing, systemic neglect, homophobia, and racism. Many of his victims were young Black and Southeast Asian men whose disappearances did not receive urgent attention. His story is not just about brutality. It is about who is protected and who is overlooked, about how warning signs flickered and were ignored, about neighbors who smelled something wrong but were told it was nothing. True crime often risks turning monsters into main characters. But this story belongs, first and last, to the 17 lives cut short. Dahmer sought to erase people, to possess them permanently. History refuses to let him.